A lot of people don't know that brown sunscreens are better than white, so meaning tinted better than non-tinted.
Welcome back to the Top of Mind show with RJ Anya Huja. We have been talking about something on top of my mind and many young adults alike, which is skincare. I am so excited to introduce my first guest on the show, Dr. Anisha Guda. She is a board-certified dermatologist practicing in Dallas, Texas. She's trained at the legendary UT Southwestern, one of the top programs in the country. She currently practices medical, surgical, and cosmetic dermatology, although she has a passion for skin of color and innovation. She has led many initiatives for treating melasma, including receiving a grant from La Roche-Posay and L'Oreal. Her goal is to make patients feel comfortable in their own skin and also to advocate for people of color in our skincare journeys. Hello, Dr. Guda.
Thank you so much for having me. I mean, this is a cool experience, so thank you.
No, I am beyond excited. I wanted to talk to you about South Asian skin specifically. What are some gaps you've seen in the US industry when it comes to treating skin of color?
Really, like in terms of recognizing certain skin conditions in skin of color, we're talking about things like psoriasis or other autoimmune skin conditions or even acne. They do tend to look differently in darker skinned individuals, and because of that, it's not always recognized early, and because of that, treatment is delayed. Also, just with pigmentation, for example, there's one I see is called LPP, but it's a lot of times the Indian populations like very great discoloration on the face and neck, and so being able to recognize those color patterns and then also the depth is really important. There's been a lot of education over the years to kind of help to educate people and providers to be able to recognize these things, but I still do feel like there's a lot that needs to be done for that. And so I really dedicated my career to being able to recognize those differences and helping treat people.
A lot of these skincare things are modeled off of influencers. So to have a doctor who not only knows skin of color, but also is a woman of color, I think is incredibly empowering. Well, I have a question about the misconceptions about skincare. There are so many right now. I myself have fallen victim to a lot of them because social media is a place where every skincare product is being advertised, especially by young influencers. What would your advice be to teens and young adults who are looking to build a skincare routine but are being bombarded with this information from social media?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Nowadays things have changed. There's so much access to social media. It's like at your fingertips. And unfortunately, everybody kind of thinks they're a skincare expert. And so days like even like 5-year-olds trying to make skincare routines. And the issue with that is that, people are falling into the trap of that they need like a 10-step or 20-step skincare routine. And then they're putting things on their face, causing allergies and rashes. And then they end up coming to us. It's most important to follow a board-certified dermatologist. Simple is always the best. And so trying to make your skincare routine with the minimal number of steps is the best. And so in the morning, just really having like a good cleanser. So if you have more oily skin, using things like salicylic acid, more dry skin, using things that are hydrated. You can throw in a toner in there. Vitamin C serum is great. That's an antioxidant. It's going to brighten your skin. Really using a great moisturizer is going to go a long way. My personal favorite is Vanny Cream. It really keeps your skin hydrated, and then they have iron oxide in them, so they block more of the sun than the white ones do. And then in the evening, doing a cleanser and then a good retinol like tretinoin and moisturizer is also really important. So I would say, with that being said, simple is better than making things complicated. So
I had no clue about the brown sunscreen being better than the white, because I always thought the tinted sunscreen was maybe less effective because it felt more like a makeup sort of thing.
Right.
But that is, wow, I'm learning new things every day. And again, that goes to show what our misconceptions are about social media when you don't have an actual professional helping you out. Whether you go to a dermatologist, I would highly recommend, but even if you don't have the means to go to a dermatologist, following one on Instagram is such a good hack because they will tell you all of these things. Social media isn't a bad way to get information. You just need to know how to cite your sources.
Exactly.
And something that's very unique, which comes with being South Asian, is all the home remedies that your auntie, your grandmother will give you. I have heard so many home remedies, like either an ice bath or holy or lemon juice or turmeric powder. And I'm sure a lot of these work. but what is the most common home remedy we should drop, and which one actually works?
I get that a lot in my practice, just being in Dallas. All of the Indian patients, they always kind of ask like, what can we do and what can we not do? So like, for example, like I would say that turmeric is, it's an antioxidant, and so it is also a brightener. And combining that with like yogurt and like a little bit of like milk or honey is actually like pretty nice for your skin. It will help brighten it. You have to use things in moderation. I would also say oiling your scalp with coconut oil before you shampoo your hair. A lot of our moms will tell us that. I do feel like that's helpful in growing the hair and keeping it from drying out. And then things like sandalwood and saffron, they'll also brighten the skin. I would try to avoid lemon juice because that can irritate the skin and cause what's called contact dermatitis, a type of allergy. So using everything in moderation, meaning we can even do a test spot, like doing it on a small area first to make sure you're not allergic to it, is also important.
I first talked to a board-certified dermatologist, Dr. Anisha Guda. She has done a lot of things with South Asian skin specifically. And now moving on to my second guest, someone who is not only a friend, supporter, but also a very, very passionate person about skincare, Dr. Rani. Dr. Rani is a biotechnologist and scientist with over 20 years of research and product development expertise. As a scientist, she then created Monaesi Skincare, her skincare company, where she combined science and nature to create plant-based, clinically backed skincare solutions that support long-term skin health. Beyond that, she is also a powerhouse of a female entrepreneur who definitely inspires me. So, how are you doing, Dr. Rani?
I'm doing very good. Thank you, Anya. Thank you for having me. I'm excited always to talk to you.
The first thing that I wanted to talk to you about is your own journey, because you started Monaesi Skincare not just for fun, because of your own personal journey with severe rosacea and highly sensitive skin. We were talking about this offline, but when you have a severe skin issue, I think it feels very isolating. So for any listener who is currently dealing with something similar, what is the first thing they need to do to let their skin heal?
Not to panic and try 100 different things. At least in my own journey, when things were not looking good on my skin, when I would have redness, inflammation and all, I would just go and put something that would say it will calm your skin, it will give you even skin tone. Because I did had those days where I would cancel my social engagements because my face was looking like a tomato red, So out of that panic, we tend to try different products, which is absolutely no in my opinion, because you're only stressing your skin even more. Especially during those times, I think you should have a very simple routine, going back to the basics, so having a very good mild cleanser, good moisturizer. The second thing is see a dermatologist, and that's what I did. I went and saw a board certified dermatologist.
The theme of our conversation, not only with Dr. Rani, but also Dr. Guda, was less is more, especially for skincare. Although everything is very aesthetic to have a step skincare routine with all the different colors, it might be time to go the basic 2-3 step skincare routine. One thing that you talked about was how so many products are thrown at you to give immediate results, and especially these days, the words Ayurvedic, natural, zero chemical are just stamped on any and everything. But how do we know what's actually legit?
So it's a great question, and thank you for asking, Anya. This is the part I'm very passionate about, spreading the awareness. To be very honest, there's nothing like 100% natural or chemical free or toxic free. If I'm a consumer, if I'm looking at a bottle, there's no way I can say, if the claim of being clean, Ayurvedic or natural is legit or not. Especially when it comes to the Ayurveda, Ayurveda is all about, it's an integrative whole thing. It's not just about the skin, your relationship of the skin with your body, because your skin displays what is going on inside, and it also boils down to the nature of the person. We have doshas, so you cannot use the same oil to all the people with different doshas. For example, if you have a pitta, there is certain ingredients that go well with your body. You cannot use the same ingredients for a vata dosha. So when you are saying an Ayurvedic skincare, and if that website is just giving a generic bottle of moisturizer for all persons, for me it doesn't make sense, because Ayurveda is all about individualized based on their, the vatas, the doshas. It's very hard to identify, but one thing I would say is, look, if there are certifications, that is a third-party certifications, just because it is there, it doesn't mean it's still legit, but that is something we can lean on to. but more importantly, get the ingredients yourself, communicating with the brand, asking them questions, and if it's a legit, they will communicate back with the answers.
Absolutely. A follow-up to this question is, as a scientist, you prioritize clean plant-based ingredients in your own company. Is there certain things that we should look for on an ingredient label to know if a product you believe would be actually clean? Like for a regular layman's person who's going to the skincare aisle, they're turning around the ingredient label. What are something that they should be looking for? What's something that you think that maybe they should avoid?
There are some ingredients which are universally not good. We can avoid them, like alcohol, fragrances. Like fragrance especially, they give sensorial feel, but other than that, they have no function. Stay away from alcohols, and also the popular no list, the parabens, the phthalates, sulfates. If you see any name ending in these, it's not clean. Something ending in ENE, like which is a benzene derivative, because that can get converted when it is exposed to high temperatures into benzene, which is again like cancer causing. There is no universal definition for clean. Clean is all made up. There is no FDA saying that this is the regulations the brands have to follow in order to slap the name clean. So because it's not regulated, it's very hard. But these are the few things that I would pay attention, and I really personally pay attention is mineral oil, just because I do not like to use mineral oil because it's coming from crude petroleum byproduct, and also because I have sensitive skin, I have rosacea, and in the past I did not react well. So, but again, clean doesn't mean it's chemical free. For example, we use coconuts and we extract a compound out of it, which we call it like cocoa oil caprylic triglyceride, which is a natural emollient that gives very nice emollients moisturization. So look for the commonly known names, like many ingredients like turmeric, like or licorice, like for example, if you're treating hyperpigmentation, licorice is one of a very popular ingredient. And like if for coconut oil, cocoa betaine. Clean means it is it's made of safe ingredients. You can extend the definition to a little bit more, like sustainably sourced ingredients, cruelty free ingredients.